The Chicago Bears did not spend last season asking the NFL for respect. They took it. They won the NFC North, stormed back against the Green Bay Packers in January, and pushed the Los Angeles Rams into overtime with their season hanging by a thread. One play ended the run, but it also exposed something bigger. Chicago was no longer a rebuilding team hoping to stay close. This was a dangerous roster that had arrived early. Now the Bears have made changes that could push them even higher, and the rest of the league has to wonder whether that painful loss in Los Angeles created something far more dangerous than confidence. Everything starts with Caleb Williams, but the team around him looks different now. DJ Moore is gone after catching the winning touchdown in the playoff comeback against Green Bay. Chicago did not replace him with another expensive veteran. Instead, the Bears handed the offense to Rome Odunze, Luther Burden III, and Colston Loveland, three young weapons growing beside their quarterback. That decision carries real risk, but it also reveals how strongly this team believes in its future. On defense, first-round rookie Dylan Thieneman brings speed and range, while Montez Sweat still stands at the center of a pass rush that must become stronger when the biggest games tighten up. But here is what nobody is talking about. The player who may decide how far Chicago goes is not the first-round pick or the face of the defense. It is a young edge rusher who missed the opening part of last season, returned quietly, and started creating pressure when most fans were watching the stars. If that player becomes the threat Chicago believes he can be, quarterbacks will no longer be able to focus all their protection on Montez Sweat. The entire defense changes. The takeaway numbers become more dangerous. The close games become easier to finish. And the Bears move from a tough playoff team into something the conference may not be ready to handle. Before we reveal that hidden piece, there is one man whose next step controls everything Chicago is trying to build: Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is no longer being judged like a quarterback learning on the job. Chicago has reached the point where every drive carries a bigger demand. His second season produced 3,942 passing yards, 27 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. Those numbers broke a franchise passing record, but the real change appeared when games became tense. He stopped looking rushed. He trusted the pocket. He began controlling moments that once controlled the Bears. The next challenge is less exciting and more important. Williams must make the easy play automatic. Ben Johnson built answers into the offense, giving his quarterback cleaner reads, play action, and chances to attack before the defense could settle. Now Press Taylor moves into the offensive coordinator role, while JT Barrett remains close to the quarterback room. The language stays familiar. Chicago does not need a different system. It needs sharper timing inside the one already working. That is why year 3 feels heavy. Williams has shown he can create something from nothing, escape pressure, and stay calm after mistakes. What separates good quarterbacks from the league's best is what happens between those moments. Can he hit the short throw on time, protect the football, and keep the offense moving when nothing dramatic is available? If the answer is yes, Chicago's ceiling changes. But his growth depends on who wins beside him. Because the Bears have cleared targets for a young group that must now prove it can carry a complete passing game. Chicago did not keep its young pass catchers in supporting roles. It placed the offense in their hands. Colston Loveland led the team with 58 catches for 713 yards and 6 touchdowns, then grew more dangerous when the games became larger. He can line up tight, move into the slot, or force a slower defender into space. That freedom gives Ben Johnson a weapon defenses cannot identify with one matchup. Outside, Rome Odunze enters year 3 with a chance to become the lead receiver. His second season was interrupted by a foot injury, yet he produced 661 yards and 6 touchdowns. Across from him, Luther Burden III brings a different problem. He turns short throws into sudden gains, attacks open space, and gives Caleb Williams an answer when pressure arrives. Cole Kmet remains the trusted veteran, which means Chicago can change formations without changing the people on the field. Then comes Sam Roush, the 69th pick and a third-round rookie from Stanford. He is not being asked to replace Loveland or push Kmet aside. His value is variety, more size near the goal line, more blocking strength on early downs, more ways to hide whether the next snap is a run or pass. That is the beauty of this group. Every player creates a different question, and Williams gets to choose the answer. But that opportunity exists because Chicago made one cold decision. moving a proven receiver and trusting these young targets before they have fully proved themselves. The DJ Moore trade was not only a money move, it was Chicago declaring that Comfort would not control the roster. 2 years after signing him for $110 million, the Bears sent Moore and a fifth-round pick to Buffalo for a second-round selection. He finished with 50 catches, 682 yards, and 6 touchdowns. Chicago did not move a fading player. It moved a proven veteran while his value still carried real weight. That makes the choice bold. Ryan Poles could have kept the known answer and protected himself from criticism. Instead, he opened targets for Rome Odunze, Luther Burden III, and Colston Loveland, then turned one expensive contract into another chance to strengthen the roster. Young talent does not always grow on schedule. One injury, one slow start, or one chemistry problem could make the offense smaller. The Bears accepted that danger because they believe their quarterback and system can handle it. Now the decision gets a stage nobody could have planned better. Chicago visits Buffalo in Week 15, with Moore standing on the other side. There will be emotion, noise, and questions about who won the deal. But the answer will not come from one night. It will come from whether Chicago's young receivers become reliable, whether the draft value helps the defense, and whether the offense stays dangerous without its most experienced target. That question leads into the weakness the Bears could no longer hide, a defense that stole possessions but struggled to end drives. Chicago's defense lived on a dangerous bargain. Give it the football, and the Bears could flip a game in seconds. Take that chance away, and every weakness became harder to cover. The unit produced 33 takeaways and 23 interceptions, both league-leading marks. More revealing was the result. Chicago went 9-0 when it forced at least 2 turnovers, but only 3-7 when it created one or none, including the playoffs. That split explains the problem. Turnovers are powerful, but they are not a weekly promise. Sometimes a perfect throw beats tight coverage. Sometimes a loose ball returns to the offense. When those moments did not fall Chicago's way, the front needed to win alone, and that did not happen often enough. The Bears finished with 35 sacks. Montez Sweat delivered 10, while Gervon Dexter Sr. added 6. After them, the drop was sharp, making protection plans too simple for experienced opponents. That pressure gap shaped every decision that followed. Dennis Allen could send extra rushers, but every blitz removed helped somewhere else. He could play coverage, but that gave quarterbacks more time. Chicago needed a defense that could create mistakes instead of waiting for them. That means faster pressure, stronger early down play, and more bodies capable of winning one matchup without help. The front office answered by adding experience, speed in the secondary, and competition across the front. Whether those pieces fit will decide if the takeaway machine becomes a complete defense. The Bears did not chase one famous answer on defense. They built layers. First-round rookie Dylan Thieneman gives Dennis Allen the kind of freedom this defense was missing. Chicago selected him with the 25th overall pick because he can cover ground, attack the football, and line up in more than one spot. He ran the 40-yard dash in 4.35 seconds, but his game is not based on speed alone. He recorded 306 tackles and 8 interceptions across 3 college seasons, proving that he can find plays before they fully develop. With Jalen Johnson returning outside, Thieneman can move through the defense instead of being locked into one job. He can patrol deep space, step closer to the box, or cover from the nickel position. That allows Allen to change the picture after the quarterback believes he has solved it. A young safety normally needs protection while he learns. Chicago drafted this rookie because it believes he can create confusion almost immediately. The changes continue closer to the line. Devin Bush comes off a season with 124 tackles and 3 interceptions, giving Chicago another fast decision-maker. Neville Gallimore adds power inside after recording 3.5 sacks with Indianapolis. Grady Jarrett supplies experience, while Gervon Dexter Sr. enters a key year after reaching 6 sacks. Dayo Odeyingbo is returning from an Achilles injury, and Shamar Turner enters his second season after injuries limited his first year to 5 games. Chicago does not need every one of them to become a star. It needs steady pressure, useful snaps, and enough depth to prevent offenses from finding one easy target. The schedule does not give Chicago time to grow slowly. Week 1 sends the Bears to Carolina, where Caleb Williams meets Bryce Young in a game that tests control and patience. By week 5, Chicago is visiting Green Bay. Then comes a brutal stretch. New England on Thursday night, Seattle on Monday night, and Tampa Bay on Sunday night. 3 stages, 3 different styles, and no place to hide a weakness. The second half becomes sharper. The Bears face the Los Angeles Rams again, but this version includes Myles Garrett, one of football's most dangerous defenders. Later comes the Saturday night trip to Buffalo, where DJ Moore will have every reason to play with emotion. 6 days after that, the Green Bay Packers arrive at Soldier Field on Christmas Day. Jordan Love and the division rivalry will turn that afternoon into more than another game. This path will reveal whether Chicago has truly changed. Strong teams cannot depend on one kind of victory. Some weeks require patience. Others demand speed, protection, or a defense that survives without turnovers. The Bears will be tested by champions, rivals, dangerous pass rushers, and quarterbacks who punish hesitation. That is why the final piece matters so much. Chicago can improve at safety, linebacker, and defensive tackle, but the hardest opponents will still attack the same question. Who wins opposite Montez Sweat when the game tightens? The answer is a young edge rusher whose late surge may decide whether this schedule breaks the Bears or announces them. The hidden player is Austin Booker, and Chicago has quietly cleared a path for him. The Bears did not spend their first pick on an edge rusher. They did not hand a massive contract to another outside threat. Instead, they kept the opportunity open for a third-year defender who missed the first 7 games, then finished with 4.5 sacks and 1 forced fumble. That production came in limited time, which makes the next step impossible to ignore. Booker does not need to replace Montez Sweat. He needs to change how offenses protect. If Booker wins from the other side, tackles cannot lean towards Sweat on passing downs. Guards cannot ignore Gervon Dexter Sr. and Grady Jarrett inside. Quarterbacks have less time to wait for routes, and the secondary gets more chances to attack hurried throws. One growing player can connect every level of this defense without carrying the entire unit alone. But Chicago saved another move for the part of the roster most people stopped watching. Kobe Bryant did not arrive from a defense looking for answers. He arrived from the champion Seattle Seahawks, where he started 15 regular season games, played throughout the playoff run, and collected 4 interceptions. Chicago signed him for 3 years because it wanted more than another safety. It wanted someone who already understands what championship football demands when pressure rises. Bryant can play safety, nickel, or corner, and his 7 career forced fumbles show that he does not simply wait for mistakes. He creates them. Place him beside Dylan Thielman, with Jalen Johnson outside and pressure building up front, and Chicago can hide where the next hit is coming from. The first-round rookie brings speed and range. The Super Bowl champion brings calm, timing, and proof that he can handle January football. That is why Chicago enters this season with a real path toward the conference title. The schedule is heavy, so expecting an easy ride would be foolish. 10 to 12 wins is a realistic range. Another division crown is possible, and a run to the NFC Championship becomes believable if Caleb Williams becomes steadier and Austin Booker becomes the second pressure source. That is the gamble behind every change. Youth over comfort. Growth over safe choices. Chicago has enough talent to threaten anyone, but its ceiling rests on development. The Bears did not spend this offseason collecting headlines. They made connected moves. They trusted Williams with a younger offense. They trusted Thielman with an important role before his first NFL snap. They trusted Booker to become the edge threat the defense lacked. And late in the process, they added Bryant, a champion whose value may not be understood until the biggest games arrive. Now the question belongs to Bears fans. How many sacks will Austin Booker record? Did Chicago make the right decision trading DJ Moore? And can this team finish the journey that ended one play too early last season?